Hi, good evening, guys. Back to Mr. Wilder. Looking into something earlier, and I was also watching another video. And his record is his resume record is fascinating, shocking. Fascinating and shocking. It's fascinating in the sense of he's actually only fought 2 top 20 fighters. Now, when I say top 20, I don't mean perceived by each governing body, I mean ranked overall. In 40 fights. Well, okay, we'll clear up. The only 2 top 20 fighters actually that he's fought, bona fide at the time, were ranked 4, who was Stiverne when he beat him for the title. I mean, quite how Stiverne got to 4 is beyond me, because he fought a load of nobodies himself, but bottom 1 or 2 fringe heavyweight. So his real only legitimate guy, if you can call him, is Ortiz, who he's like we've said, he's the only real legitimate guy he's fought. And people want to talk about the referee in AJ's fight. Well, have a look at the referee in that fight. I mean, oh, what's up, Deontay? You a bit hurt, are you? A bit tired, are you? At the end of round 7? Oh, never mind. Yeah, we'll get a doctor in to have a look at him. We'll waste a minute or 2, whatever it was. But yeah, he was done a few favours. Now, keeping on the record, because I do have this Billy Connolly tendency to just waffle on, but I always seem to come back to where that was. He didn't actually fight anyone ranked in the top 200 until he fought Audley Harrison, which was in his 28th fight, and by which time Audley's mind wasn't in boxing, he was merely going through the motions. So, and I think Audley was something like 136, if I remember rightly, at the time. That's in his 28th fight. Now, Wilder fans and Wilder himself want to question Joshua's record. Well, okay. Up to first 7, 8, 9 fights, about 9 fights, Joshua fought the usual guys. The guys, when you first turn pro, everybody fights. Everybody fights them. The point is, by his 10th, 11th, 12th fight, he was fighting guys that that Wilder is fighting now at times. I mean, Malik Scott. Malik Scott got hit on the gloves and fell over. Malik Scott didn't even come to fight. People want to talk about, like, the guy who, I don't know what he was taking yesterday, he was on about Klitschko was paid to live well. Oh yeah. You should have a look at the Malik Scott fight. He should have a look at the Staverne's second fight. I think you should have a look at 1 or 2 of Wilder's fights. He never even actually fought anyone who was what you would call ranked until about his 16th, 17th fight, which time Joshua was a world champion. The guy just does not fight the people he should be fighting. And there's talk of him fighting the young Polish-American lad, forgive me, Adam Kanowski. Good young fighter. I've seen one of his fights, and he looks a good young fighter, and he seems a very nice young man. Honest to goodness, stand-up guy. Wilder may take that off, and he might just bite off more than he could chew, because that kid looks a tough guy. But we'll see. We'll see on that one. It's like I said, it's this record. It's when I say it's fascinating in a way of shock, fascinating and shocking in one. How does someone in his 38 fight people that Joshua was fighting in his 15th fight, less than that? He's fighting people at the level of Gary Cornish, and I know he's not fought Gary Cornish well, but he's fighting that level. Like I say, with the only real exception for me, because I don't really count Stéphane, certainly not in the second fight. Well, I think Stéphane was paid off in the second fight, but that's another story. His only real contender is Ortiz, and like I say, Wilder was helped. He was definitely helped in that fight. There's no doubt in my mind he was helped by the referee. See, the thing is, the WBC, I know I said the other day they should be taken to task, but they won't be. They've always been close to Don King. They love Don King. They love having an American champion, the WBC. For me, I get that impression. They love having an American champion. You know, how can a governing body, supposedly the governing body, supposedly the most prestigious strap, not for me, but supposedly, it's not for me for the way they run things, allow him to fight these people? He's fought one mandatory in 3 years, and he's lining up people like Dauphin, I think that's his name, or Dauphin, whatever his name, Gerald Washington, who is, I believe, is about the only unbeaten fighter until Ortiz that Wilder had faced, certainly bona fide unbeaten. Dauphin was giving Wilder nightmares. Washington was giving him nightmares. Spilker scared the living bejesus out of him. Dauphin did, really. Molina had a war with him and wobbled him. Ortiz did in the first fight. As much as he did beat up Stéphane, he didn't really seem to hurt Stéphane that badly, I didn't think, which all the more is why I've touched on before thinking Stéphane, and I've said it at the time, Stéphane was paid, he's fell away, he knows he's not going to get past the top guys. For me, I think he thought, I'm 39, whatever, I've had enough of this. Yeah, I'll come in. I mean, he was only a stand-in anyway, because Ortiz, wasn't it? Yeah, failed the PED test, whatever, blood pressure, whatever it was. And like I say, on the night of the second of the fight with Ortiz's blood pressure was up, and there was some debate, and supposedly Charles Martin nearly stepped in. I mean, you'll find Wilder's fans and fanboys, as people like to call them, and his team, and this and the other thing. They'll criticise Charles Martin, but you know, I remember back at the time, a lot of people were sticking Charles Martin up as possibly a lot of Americans, and a lot of these fans were sticking Charles Martin up, no matter what they say now, as he will wipe the floor with Joshua, and they were saying he was the real talent of the heavyweight division, yada yada yada. But then they said the same about Don Brazil. But like I say, I have respect for Don Brazil. He come over here, he didn't throw a lot of shots, but he stood there and he stayed in the fight. He did his best. And he tried to ramp it up beforehand, but in the end, you know, Dom, credit where credit's due, and since he said, nah, you know, you don't realise what a physical thing it is to have Joshua in front of you. He hits you and you think, oh wow, now I have been hit. I know Wilder has this knockout power. Again, I know I've probably said this before, but he has one shot. His Arsenal, I mean, some of his swinging it's borderline. You see it out to people drunk on a Friday and Saturday night in the city centres and that. If he swings like I've seen him swing against some of his opponents, I will stay here and now. Anthony Joshua will knock him clean out. If he swings like that, if he's going to get in the ring with Joshua, he cannot go in there thinking, I've only got to land one shot, because he may not land that shot. And even if he does, it's going to have to land as clean and as flush, because some of these glancing ones that I've seen put people down, they will not put AJ down. They won't keep him down. And the dangerous thing with AJ is when he comes up, he's a man on a mission. If they get into a trade-off, I can see, I know exactly what AJ will do. He will just tuck up, bounce him off the ropes, and he will let him have it. The thing is as well, I think what a lot of people missed at the weekend is just what a good body puncher AJ is as well. He hit Joseph Parker, fancied it, and he sunk one right into his rib cage. He sunk a left fist, but he sunk this cracking right into his rib cage. At one point, Parker didn't seem to want to know after that. But yeah, go and have a look at Wilder's record, guys. Go and have a look at it and just see what level of opposition he's been fighting. And people are talking about him getting to 50-0. Well, let's get another thing straight on that. As much as I admire Floyd Mayweather, and I do admire Floyd Mayweather, you won't hear me badmouth Floyd Mayweather. A lot of people do and say, oh, he wasn't exciting and that. Well, you know, like I say, quite a lot of my heroes in boxing weren't exactly the most exciting all the time. I'm a lover of snooker and chess too, so I've got patience. I like the technical side of boxing. Like I say, it's called boxing, not KOing. But yeah, 50-0. Well, for me, it's 49-0 because I don't count that debacle against McGregor. That's the only. I wasn't totally against him fighting Mayweather, but I thought he shouldn't have played along to script. He clearly played to a script and carried McGregor. I mean, he was in him with arm punches. And on the last, he sunk a few solid ones in just to. But if Mayweather really wanted to, he could have got him out of there in, I don't know, 2 rounds, first round possibly, if he really wanted to. Really let loose. So yeah, I count Mayweather as 49-0 myself. You know, you can't count the McGregor thing. I mean, he's not a boxer. There's amateurs who'd school McGregor senseless. There's amateurs who put McGregor away. Wilder getting to 50-0 or 51-0 as he's calling it. Good luck to you, mate, because I think at some point your bubble's going to burst. You cannot keep on fighting these people, and at some point you're going to have to come. It'd be interesting to see in Wilder's career if he does indeed face, as he should do, Parker, Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua, Don Brazil, Ortiz again, which I've said. I think Ortiz deserves a rematch. And some of the other boys who are coming up. I mean, Joe Joyce is a very skilled heavyweight. He's not the biggest puncher. He can hit. I think he could hit hard enough to stun Wilder. And possibly get Wilder out of there, judging on who he's been mobbled by. But yeah, Joe's a very good boxer. Joe Joyce, I mean, he's a very good boxer. We've also got monstrous punching Daniel Dubois coming up over here. Real look of a real destroyer in his eyes, and okay, he's never been hit yet, so we don't know what happens there. He's never been hit by a level. There's a few. Nathan Gorman, 2. I like Nathan. How far Nathan will go towards world level, I don't know, but I like Nathan. He's a good young fighter. Comes off absolutely legendary bare knuckle fighting stock in his granddad Bartley, but that's a story for another time. Cheers for now, guys. Probably speak tomorrow.